the Dodowyvern, the second and final Halloween boss added to ARK. With his unbelievable health pool and the ability to conjure all Wyvern abilities, it was clear that this boss was a huge step up from the Dodorex. Just like last year, however, I decided to put my skills up to the test and see if I could survive in a world infested with just Dodowyverns. Now hold on just a second, you might be wondering as to why these Dodowyverns are so small. Well, that's because no matter how much I searched, I just couldn't find a mod to add the regular Dodowyvern to scale and also tameable. But don't worry though, as these little guys were not playing around and made sure to give me a hard time in completing this challenge. Speaking of which, the goals for today are to beat the Manticore, as well as the mother of all of these babies, an actual Dodowyvern. Before spawning in, I had to do just one final thing. So we're gonna go for, obviously, Spooky Baron. Hehehe. Immediately after spawning, I was greeted by an insane number of wyverns, as due to their smaller size, I allow myself to go crazy with the numbers. Still, I didn't have any time to waste, so I hope that they leave me alone so that I can get the basics done. Oh shit. Well, I was just about to say things were going pretty well, but I suppose not. After respawning, I took my stuff back and then, obviously, died again. Definitely off to a rocky start, but nothing that a bit of perseverance can't solve. After respawning for the third time, I managed to grab an explorer node for some much needed levels, but while applying them I ran into the next massive issue. No pun intended. The scorched earth conditions. During the day the map can reach upwards of 50 degrees and during the night as low as 0 degrees, so safe to say that the early game will be filled to the brim with deaths. I'm dying! No, I'm so dead, man. Oh yeah, and if that wasn't enough, I also had to deal with severe dehydration and lack of water. All this on top of the Dodowyverns, of course. Afterwards, I ran into a green drop that had a bunch of adobe structures as well as a free Schmitty. Well, oh, Schmitty, free Schmitty, oh, yo, 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 yo. So, just in case I end up actually returning here, I decided to put those foundations to good use and throw everything in the Schmitty. And then just died mere seconds later. No worries though, as respawning is free. After which I ran into a blue drop that awarded me with a pretty crazy crossbow that I'll never get to use actually. After respawning and dying again, oh here's lightning, okay. Yes, okay. It was clear that my approach of spawning randomly wasn't going to work. So I changed my plan. This time I was aiming to go to any of the 3 obelisks as they have plenty of water around them as well as just lower temperatures overall. Unfortunately that is way easier said than done. Okay man, I was about to say like, this is going really well for some reason. I don't have to walk back. Okay, let's start ignoring this then. I have to die again though. To combat the water issues on the way to said obelisk, I also just tried eating cactus sap. But I'll just let the clip play. My water is literally not moving. I'm eating this for nothing. Awesome. Hydrates your body. Yes. Of course. After respawning again, I managed to get yet another explorer node and by some sheer luck arrived at Blue Obelisk. This is also when I realized that going in the water makes wyverns leave me alone. I lost him. No, I did. After barely evading death, I began sneakily collecting local resources to progress. Being sure to also make a cloth set as the teeny tiny heat resistance could definitely make a difference between life and death. After that I made a bow and began looking around for a wyvern to kill it. As without hide, there's not really much that I can do. While looking, I found a wyvern that was seemingly stuck inside of a tree. Upon closer inspection, however, he's not stuck. I'm dead. Okay. On the way back to Blue Obelisk, I found yet another decent green drop with another fish mitty as well as a decent hide suit. After that, I took my stuff back and began looking for things to build my base out of. Oh hell no, we're making stone. Clearly, adobe was out of the question for now as clay was super duper expensive, so I just settled for stone. And after quickly depositing my whole inventory into the Schmitty, it was time to lock in and actually get some hide. Let me in the water! I'm dead. No. Wait, I live. Easy kill. On the way back, again, I found a blue drop with some adobe structures that I didn't take, as well as a tent, some chitin and some cementing paste. Also, drops are actually my only way of getting these resources in this challenge, so they will be pretty damn sought after. Afterwards, I just looted some guy that got sniped earlier and then quickly got more resources for arrows, as I was not going to give up and I was going to get that hide no matter what. With the arrows crafted, I ran into a huge skill issue. You see, I'm very bad at shooting with a bow in this game, which means that grabbing a wyvern's attention did take a few solid minutes. Please? Yes, but this guy wants me as well. No. We're going water. After taking my stuff yet again, I concluded that trying to fight lightning wyverns was not very smart. So I settled for poison, as they could definitely be way easier to kill. My initial plan to take one out was to keep going in circles and just shoot at him until he dies, and this strat kinda worked until it didn't anymore. So I ran away and of course just died. And one more time while going to grab my stuff back. Then, after grabbing it back, I tried killing the wyvern again, which obviously failed and convinced me to change my approach. Not before trying one more time though, because I just am that stubborn. On the way back to Blue Obelisk, I found a blue trap that contained, drumroll please, an ascendant crossbow. Yeah. However, since you obviously came here to see me struggle and not just breeze through the challenge, I decided to drop it and continue playing through the early game with the tools available. Which is also why you should subscribe, as I'm getting really damn close to 100k, and without your support I would have never ever been able to make all these crazy masochist videos. Done? Awesome, back to the video. The new plan consisted of using stone structures to make a basic door frame trap, which should hopefully allow me to consistently kill wyverns and progress. He walks straight past. Okay then. If I just hide in here. He bursts me, okay. Well, unfortunately a 1x1 doesn't suffice for them, which is why I settled expanding to a 1x2. This new trap kind of worked, although not good enough. Fortunately, after trying again, I did manage to trap up this wyvern. But unfortunately, while trying to kill him, I did die to one of his friends. And on the way back, besides shattering my knees, I noticed the wyvern literally escaped the trap. Of course he's out! Which is yet another difficulty that I encountered in this challenge. The fact that due to how single player rendering works, if I trap a wyvern and then spawn far away from him, he will be out of the trap. So to make trapping just a little bit quicker in the future, I expand my trap yet again by one foundation and even managed to trap the guy from earlier first try. Defeating any dodo wyvern rewards me with hide, prime meat and sulfur. Sulfur is useless for me, prime meat is good, however it cannot be used to heal dinos, so I will have to figure out something else for healing. But those were problems that future me will have to deal with, as with the newly acquired hide I made some refining forges as well as a spyglass. With it I could see the level as well as the required food, which was superior kibble. That's unusual. Don't worry though, as I have just a unique way to get superior kibble in this challenge. Some prep must be done beforehand however, such as finding some metal, which was so hard and took so long in fact that the game cursed me with a sandstorm. Hello. Also I should not have grabbed that.
12 seconds later.
After returning, I just ended up waiting inside my tent until the sandstorm ended. Okay, awesome. With the skies cleared, I was free to search for metal once again, and after finding some, I grabbed literally all of it, slapped that into the refining forge, and then finally remembered about the desert cloth armor's existence. So I made sure to craft as much as I could of it, as it would come in handy with surviving the high desert temperatures. Plus, it's also drippy as hell. After that, I picked up the whole trap and set out in the vast desert to look for a certain thing. The thing which would actually end up being the key to getting kibble and progressing into the mid-game. Okay, actually scratch that, as I did want a little bit more height as well as just a few more levels before heading out on such journey. By using the new trap design, however, that proved to be far from difficult. And after being done with that, I continued my search.
Bro, why do I think it was gonna be?
After a lengthy exploration session, I stumbled across yet another blue drop. This one didn't seem to contain anything useful on the surface. However, this Mastercraft pike may have just been the key to the mid-game. Till then, I returned home to deposit everything as well as also make a mind-wide tonic, as the way I put my points the first time wasn't very smart and they could use a bit of tweaking. Basically, I ended up taking all points from health, fortitude and stamina to distribute amongst weight and movement speed. Basically the stats that actually matter in this challenge. The lacking health did become somewhat of an issue though. While in the process of relearning engrams, a local wyvern also decided to say what's up. Well, at least I get to feel the new movement speed in action and oh boy, it's so much better. After retrieving my loot, I finished learning all the engrams and set out yet again to look for the secret creature. And about halfway through the day, I finally ran into one, the secret dino in question being a zombie wyvern. Now, I know, challenge is DODOWYVERN only, however, zombie wyverns were added as a way to not only get superior kibble to tame them, but also get their talents for the manticore. Plus makes the earth game incredibly difficult, so just keep watching and enjoy the rest of the video. The plan to kill a zombie wyvern was to make an even bigger trap than before and have him walk in. Sounds very simple, but in practice it was far from simple. For starters, trying to get his attention was almost impossible while he was flying, maybe that's just a skill issue, and second, I also had to worry and be careful of the small wyverns that were patrolling the area in huge numbers.
Nice one. Nice one. Oh my god, man.
And third of all, even when and if he did land, I still had to get him to the trap, which was, again, easier said than done. Yeah, and that's also mainly just thanks to his excessive movement speed. And last but not least, I also have to move relatively quickly as he can lose interest faster than the girls that I talk to. Yo, wait, that wasn't the script, what the fuck? After dying to some random wyvern again, I logged in and followed the zombie wyvern up into the local mountain from where I was supposed to go back to the trap. However, remember that 100 HP I mentioned earlier? The third time I got stuck on rocks.
Nice. If I get stuck on rocks, of course he's going to kill me, man.
Dude, I sometimes hate I despise my ideas sometimes. And this is one of them. The fifth time around, I got good and managed to get his attention while he was doing circles, and in terms of killing him, I did try the thing that didn't work on the poison wyvern earlier, but I suppose that it didn't work for a reason, right?
Okay, man. That doesn't really work.
Okay, that doesn't work. Fine. Okay, then we're gonna try something else. My next plan involved me, first of all, grab my stuff back and going home. Yeah, going home wasn't very easy this time around.
No. Nice one, GG. Oh my god.
I got destroyed by wyvern so many times, in fact, I literally turned night. Negative degrees type night. Which means that I was literally freezing to death in a fucking desert. While still in the process of going back to my stuff, I found a red drop filled with soup. Then I died a few more times, managed to collect those soups in case I end up needing them later, as well as my stuff from before, and afterwards set out on a long journey back home. Once arrived, I repaired everything and set my sights on getting a harpoon launcher. The only thing that I was lacking was obsidian, but thanks to Scorched Earth being literally filled with mountains, that wasn't too hard to find. Once returned, I swiftly made the harpoon launcher that, once coupled with the nets I crafted previously, would more than certainly allow me to get some kibble. The only issue is that I have to find yet another zombie wyvern. Yeah, not die beforehand, I'm certain that's mandatory. Twice actually. Oh yeah, and then also walk back since my bed did get destroyed. Since I had to rebuild everything, I decided to do this plan once and actually do it right. So I spent some time getting resources to build a special trap that I used in one of my previous videos to tame a quetzal. This, coupled with the net, should hopefully allow me to comfortably get that kibble. Last thing I did before leaving was take the shadow stake and then set out on a long journey across the desert to find the wyvern. Oh hi! Oh yeah, I'm dead. After retrieving my loot, I returned to Green Obelisk in search of that poison wyvern only to see that he wasn't anywhere. Like, he probably went to the backrooms or something because he literally disappeared. After looking around for him and dying multiple times in the process, the game put a halt to my exploration through a storm. So I just waited it out. After it ended, I obviously continued exploring and looking around for a zombie wyvern. Actually, I guess I should say that I just continued dying and raging, because that's literally what happened. Stop picking up sand! After a decently long while of nothingness, the game finally heard my cries of help and blessed me with a lightning wyvern. Filled with excitement, I grabbed my net launcher, rushed him and netted the stupid bastard. Then I had about 60 seconds, no more no less, to build a trap around him, while, again, being careful of the smaller wyverns. But unfortunately in ARK, things don't really go as planned. And when I returned, he was out of the trap. At this point, I was really craving a break from this game, but I didn't have time. No, as I had just 15 days to deliver a fully edited video on time for Halloween. So I packed up my anger, threw it away and continued dying as many times as needed until the end of this challenge. No, dude, no. With my gear acquired, I noticed that I had just one net left. This means I had to make this last shot count. So I carefully approached the zombie wyvern, netted it and instantly started building. The chances of me dying to a random mob this time were way lower, especially since it was just me and him around. With the trap fully constructed, I noticed I still had a few seconds left on the clock before he could wake up. So I used the time to poke him with the pack that I got earlier. If he was going to wake up inside the trap, I could finish him with a crossbow and this would have been GG's. All I had to do was not die here. Upon returning, he also just walked out of the trap, so that felt like a total killing blow. Just when I felt that all hope was lost, however, the game had one final trick up its sleeve, and believe it or not, it actually helped me this time. You see, while I was grabbing my stuff back, ready to go home empty-handed again, I noticed the wyvern get stuck in between a few rocks, seemingly unable to move or do anything except breathe lightning. Making sure to seize the opportunity, I began shooting literally all the arrows that I had into him, making sure to literally take my hand off the keyboard and only press click. And believe it or not, after countless deaths, hours and painful experiences, I could finally say that I killed the zombie wyvern. And for my troubles, I got awarded with 2 kibble, which is kinda good considering that the Mexican drop is free. More on taming dodowyverns in just a moment though. Oh, my mood instantly lifted up knowing that I've... Okay, we're entering the mid game. Yeah, okay. This was the hardest task done. Now we just gotta tame a dodowyvern, which should be easier than expected. Easier than this, that's for sure. Back at base, I repaired all my stuff as well as restocked on nets, as it was time to go shopping. By which I mean find a tameable wyvern. 4 at 140, that's crazy. 4 at 150, okay. I suppose level 50 could be good, but I don't know if it's free or only 2. 65 is free, yeah, so 60 is the limit. Okay, with this new information in mind, I immediately netted at level 60 and began tranking. but encountered a pretty massive issue. I don't think I'm actually gonna be able to deal enough torpor. So I tried trapping him, and even though he couldn't get out of the trap, that didn't stop him from making phone calls. Ow, Yeah, when I returned he was out of the trap. God, I hate single player sometimes. Besides getting out of the trap thing, he also lost pretty much all of his torpor. So because of that, I returned to the drawing board. Oh, I love getting raided, dude. Nice, he broke my bed. Let's fucking go, dude. Yeah, it was clear that living on foundations wasn't going to suffice. So I immediately used my resource to make a stone base in a desert. So yeah, it should come off as no surprise that I was literally burning to death inside my base. So to fix this, I had to transform it into Adobe, but that was gonna be pretty expensive. But if that means that I get to live freely inside my base, I'll take it. While in the process of transforming and transporting things around my base, I also just kept getting raided, which just made me hurry up with replacing, to be honest.
Dude, be for real, man, stop!
With the base up and running and not burning me alive, it was time to actually move on to taming a dodo-wyvern. This time, instead of wasting precious nets, I just settled to using the old trap. My next potential tame was the lone level 50 poison wyvern, but since I've gotten considerably richer throughout my adventure, I decided to invest some metal into making a pistol, as it had no bullet drop and instant bullet travel, which meant I could use it to instantly get the attention of any dino that I wanted.
Oh, this is so good, dude. Gosh, this is so useful, man.
After knocking out my soon-to-be friend, I gave him a few narcotics to ensure that he doesn't wake up.
Also, nice trap block. Very nice trap block.
Whatever, man, big progress is happening. Let's go, boy. And after waiting for a few minutes, my boy finally tamed. I was free to take him wherever I would please.
Ooh, oh, we're so fast, boy!
Voice crack. So, what does this beast do? Well, for starters, it can cycle between literally any wyvern breath, including Corrupted, which has the unique ability to inflict percentage-based torpor. Not very good in my case. Now in terms of damage, he would be decent, but the one I have is not very good as it's obviously low level. But I only need him to kill some things and take me from point A to point zombie wyvern. After almost dying to the lightning wyvern from earlier though, I waited for a bit to heal up my guy and also figured out that getting a saddle for this dude was not going to happen. Ever, probably. So leaving that aside, I took him on a long journey across the map to get more kibble. Thanks to my new tame, collecting drops was also going to be a viable strategy going forward, especially when it comes to getting some armor, chitin, keratin, and so on. For wrapping up the map, I ran into some kibble piñatas. 2 actually, which does explain why I struggled to find one earlier. Nice. So, let's get some kibble. After almost getting one beam by that dude, I swiftly arrived back at camp to re-heal, as the last thing on my wishlist right now is to lose this wyvern. After patching up my dude, I paid a visit to the other side of the map, where I ran across my first ever zombie fire wyvern.
Wow, okay, bro.
One kibble, all that for one kibble, oh my days, dude. After claiming my lovable 1 kibble, I looted a blue drop that had a really nice fur chest piece inside that will definitely come in handy during the cold nights, and afterwards return home, only to realize that my guy ate the kibble.
Did he eat the kibble? I think he ate the kibble, dude. I do not believe that.
Well, I guess we're going back to farming then. I also set my sights on getting a fabricator, as that was my only way of producing more polymer for more nets. But that was just a thing in the background, as the 6 nets that I have should suffice me for a decent while. After popping another piñata, I noticed that he didn't drop any kibble. The reason for that being that if he dies by breath, it just bugs out the thing and doesn't drop any kibble. But for the sake of time, I'm just gonna...
Ooh, baby.
With my newly acquired stash of kibble, I felt confident enough to look around for a dodowyvern worthy of my 4 kibble, and thanks to their sheer abundance, it didn't take too long to actually find one. After the beast awakened, I decided to breed it together with the old one. Now hold on, why am I actually breeding a low level male with a high level female? Am I crazy? Pretty much yeah. I'm just hoping for a male with the melee and health. But unfortunately, since I'm very primitive, I had to resort to hatching the egg at insane heat. Which, you know, almost ended up killing me. In the meantime, I used my new wyvern to kill local wyverns for more levels, as I'll be needing a lot more firepower to do the caves as well as kill more zombies. Fortunately, the new baby did have pretty much perfect stats, but was the wrong gender. Still another shot at getting a male, so I can't really be angry. While waiting for her to grow, I wanted to go and get some more teaming food for low level females, but couldn't seem to locate my bullets. And upon a closer analysis, I realized that I just dropped them instead of the specimen implant after that fire wyvern killed me. Yeah, thankfully they're super easy to craft, so that's good I guess.
No, hate it all. Yeah, I'll just do that for time's sake.
As replenishing my kibble collection, I returned home where I was greeted by a pretty cramped base. So I used the clay that I had left over to further expand my little shack. The extension was perfect as the wyvern perfectly fit inside the new space and could grow in peace without disturbing me. So with more space at my disposal, I wanted to actually make a fabricator. Plus I was running pretty low on mats. So I just went out and raided a bunch of drops for a wide variety of items. Once done, not only did my wyvern finish growing, which was fantastic, but also got a free generator, air conditioner, as well as some oil for the fabricator. Yeah, and also unfortunately one air conditioner isn't gonna suffice for a wyvern egg, so I'm gonna have to figure something out. But until then, I could make a bunch of polymer, so safe to say that nets won't really be a problem anymore. And you may have noticed that up to this point, I haven't found a certain thing that I need. I haven't found a crossbow. Okay, besides the ones I found at the beginning of the video, but those don't count. Which is why I'm happy to announce that the game decided to finally bless me with an apprentice crossbow blueprint. So I immediately grabbed that, I'm using a crafting skill potion, managed to get quite a decent crossbow crafted. And what this ultimately means is that it's about then time to put all that kibble to good use to get a bunch of females tamed to build that army. Cue the montage.
Females? Yeah, females with good stats too! Oh my god, bro. Okay, we are in the game.
To compensate for my rapidly expanding army, I obviously had to make the base bigger, and thankfully, the clay that I put earlier to craft came in handy with solving that issue. Unfortunately though, halfway through building I ran out of clay, so instead of farming more, I just used thatch. But with things going absolutely fantastic at my base of operations, I believe that it was about time to tackle some caves. The first of those being the local cave. I had no idea what to expect, so I made sure to be careful around each and every corner. The carefulness didn't last very long, as further up into the cave I ran into some baddies. Now since I was full of ego with a freshly bred wyvern, I obviously thought I could take them down easily. Well, that wasn't really the case. Or I mean it was, as they died and I lived, but in the process my guy lost a bunch of health, so yeah. In response to that, I just decided to sprint to the end of the cave, which was like by no means a smart decision, so I obviously died. To return, I grabbed my previous strong unimprinted wyvern and by using the ice attack made quick work of everyone inside the cave. This is also when I noticed some sort of bug, strength issue with the ice attack, as it seemed to deal incredible amounts of damage for no particular reason, but it did save my ass, so I don't really care. During the annoying sandstorm, I made sure to heal on my wyvern as much as I could, as I was not done caving just yet. Because the next cave is all the way on the other side of the map, inside this little church archaeological site thingy. Now unlike the first cave, this one was not shy to show oppression from the moment that I stepped in, so I quickly decided to go prone and sting my way through as much of the cave as possible. After moving up a little bit further, I found myself inside the last room. Now usually I'd have to go around, blah blah blah, where's the gunfight last? Number 2. Once done, I did some more healing, you know, the usual, and then headed out to the third and last cave on scorched earth. On the way, I found an insane red drop with a sick ass shotgun inside that may just come in handy for the 2 bosses. Oh yeah, and some tech that I'm definitely not taking. But where was I? Ah, right, cave. Basically another cave that just threw a bunch of enemies at me from the moment that I stepped in. Seems like a big deal, but this time I could just sprint past them. We are done. With all 3 artifacts in my possession, as well as the 6 required talents, there was but one thing left to do, and that was to do a bunch of breeding. During breeding, I also just enjoyed the colors that my wyverns keep getting, and besides that, I also just looted drops here and there for armor and stuff, hoping to make a saddle, but I guess that really won't happen. And one more thing that I did was tame more low-level females for faster breeding. Overall, just a really boring process that I won't show too much of. Okay, I'm just gonna go pee really quick. Awesome. After an extensive period of continuous breeding, I was 99% done with getting to fight the Manticore. The absolute last thing required was to level all my boys up. This was of course done by sacrificing babies, but it doesn't take an expert to realize that it took me quite a long time to level all of these guys up. But after finally finishing everything, I took all my wyverns out, gave them strict orders to use AI attacks, which basically means, yeah sure, use the breath attack, and initiated the fight with the Manticore. Oh hell yeah, we got food, bro. What? What the fuck? Yeah, GG, bro. Well, we got the Manticore, I guess. Now it's time to do the DODOWYVERN. Yeah, I have no clue why I just magically did 30 million damage in one hit, but I'm not gonna question it. Manticore down, and the last thing standing in between me and victory was the DODOWYVERN. Before finding him, I had to wait for midnight, and once it actually turned midnight, I explored the whole map in search of the fearsome world boss. DODOWYVERN 1, 660, yeah, okay. Okay, everybody, onwards, my friends. After defeating the DODOWYVERN, the game awarded me with some pretty decent skins as well as some chibis. But hold on, you may have noticed me naming Spooky Baron at the start of the video. Well, that's because this is me. This is me, this is Spooky Baron, ayo. Okay, wait. The chibis that I got were a flying fish, a boring skeleton bronto, and a zombie wyvern. Very poetic, very ironic, and very awesome.